You know that moment when a speaker pauses just before delivering a powerful idea, and then suddenly everyone is hanging on their every word? Now, contrast that with a speaker who rushes through their points so quickly that nothing has time to land, which is what I call being on the train. Or one who speaks so slowly and monotonously that you find yourself checking out. Speaking isn't just about words. It isn't just about your content. It's about rhythm. Great speakers control the tempo of their delivery, just like a musician controls a song. Pacing in speaking is how you vary speed, integrate pauses, and use rhythm to create emphasis, emotion, and engagement. The musical equivalent is tempo and phrasing. Tempo is the overall speed or the varying dynamic pace of a musical piece. And phrasing is how you shape a musical line with dynamics, using rests of various lengths for pauses to create flow, similar to when you speak, how you pause, how you stress or draw out certain words or ideas for impact. So, in speaking, if you speed up to build excitement or slow down to land a point, that is like a musician accelerating or decelerating, using rubato or expressive stretching or the compressing of time, or staccato to make a clear point, or holding a note just a breath longer to land it emotionally. Today, we're going to break down two key skills that will instantly make you more compelling. We're going to talk about the power of pause, including a variation of the types of pauses that can make a difference. But most importantly, how to use silence to emphasize key points. And we're going to talk about dynamic pacing range, how to control speed and rhythm using pacing and parsing of your content to create more engagement. And by the end, you will have skills you can practice and apply right away for a stronger and more intentional speaking style. Hi, I'm Lisa LaCroix. I'm your communication muse, and I help entrepreneurs, executives, and individuals master their voice and their presence and their impact. This video is part of my magnetic speaking skill series where I teach you techniques to elevate your communication. And if you want to work on this live, you can join me. I'm a Sharewell Pro host, and I teach in their platform Thursday mornings through the end of April. Now, let's talk about why silence and pacing are two of the most powerful yet underused tools in communication. When they're feeling comfortable in normal day-to-day language and communication, most people speak with a wide variety of range naturally. But for many of us, when we get nervous or the light is shining on us or the camera is turned on, many get into a small box and feel they have to be so consistent that they either speak too fast or too slow, too monotonously without even realizing it. Some people rush through their words because they're nervous and they get in a regular pattern of speaking without stopping, almost without breathing, because they think that slowing down shows a lack of confidence and they fear losing their audience. Many people who've been told they speak too quickly, which is the most common thing, try so hard to speak slowly that they speak in a very unusual and unnatural way that has them coming across as hesitant, uncertain, and dull, or at worst, as monotonous and hypnotizing in the worst way, having their audience disengage from the content. But the best speakers, they master rhythm. They master using pause and parsing to have a dynamic range like a masterful musician uses the same tools. They know when to pause, they know when to pick up speed, keeping their audience engaged the entire time. And that is what I want for you. When it comes to communication, most people fear silence. They think that if they stop talking for even a split second, that they will lose their audience. But in reality, pause creates impact. Pause attracts attention. Pause makes you come across as confident and high status. And pause gives your audience time to absorb what you've just said. When I work with my individual speaking clients, pause ultimately comes up because I believe it's one of the most powerful and most underutilized tools. Because being comfortable with pause, being able to fill a pause with your presence, not just wait for time to pass, puts the speaker in a position of power. And the truth is that most people are not used to being powerful speakers, and so it can feel a little uncomfortable. But here's something I'd like you to try. The next time you're speaking in front of a friend or a small group or even on a stage, or maybe you're just practicing building your skills, take out something you can read or something you can share or a description of who you are and what you do. And after making the most intentional and strong part of your statement, pause for 3 seconds. Don't rush to fill the silence, but instead let the idea sink in and use that time to create connection with your audience, even if that connection is the internal question or subtext. When you practice pausing, you might notice that pause creates weight and it creates anticipation and intrigue. Pause will have you come across as in control. And getting good at pause will instantly make you sound more authoritative. So, whether you want to use pause to become high status, confident, and authoritative, or if you want to use pause to show relatability and availability, to create connection with your audience and show who you authentically are, pause is one of the most powerful things you can use. And I love that it can be used for both directions, that it can be used to be more strong, more high status, more authoritative, or it can be used to be more available, more present, and more authentic. Let's now talk about dynamic pacing, which is when you use an intentional dynamic range of speed from very fast to more specific and particular, either in a very staccato way, whether you're going quickly or slowly, or in a drawn out legato way. So when you can control speed from fast to slow and from staccato to legato, you can create an environment in which you're communicating with maximum engagement. Because if you speak one way the entire time, you will absolutely lose your audience. And the funny thing is, this is the normal way that most people speak, and it's become so normalized that most people don't even notice. If you shake that up and you take the risk and you have the courage to use dynamic range in speaking, you will immediately capture the attention of your audience. And people won't even consciously know why, but they will listen. Because the best speakers use pacing intentionally. They slow down when delivering something important. Now, let me be clear. Slowing down does not mean always talking in the same pace in a legato way. If you're going to slow down, you can use pause of various lengths to create parsing as a way to slow the overall texture, the overall tone, the overall pace of your message down. Or you can use moments of legato interspersed with very specific staccato communication. You can also vary the way you're using speed. So sometimes you're speaking quickly, especially if it's something that you want to have energy and enthusiasm and attention, or you can slow down to create more connection. Great speakers vary their speed and their rhythm, parsing their communication into various chunks for maximum engagement. So here's something you can practice right here and right now. Take a simple sentence and say it 3 different ways. Say it very quickly. Notice how it feels rushed. Then say it very slowly and notice that it probably feels unnatural. And then try it with dynamic pacing, where some is slowed down for emphasis and some is sped up for energy. Which version keeps your attention the best? Which version makes you feel the most dynamic? When you consciously control your pace, your audience will stay with you. And let me give you an extra secret pro tip. Sometimes it doesn't matter when you speed up and when you slow down, but it is the act of change itself that creates attention. Now, if this feels unnatural at first, don't worry. Keep on going because the more you can practice exaggerating the way I'm doing now to show it for you so your mirror neurons can pick it up, the more accessible it will be to you and the more you will be able to interject it in both subtle and dramatic ways as needed. So if you want to command attention effortlessly, focus on the power of pause, taking the risk to be courageous and sometimes holding extra long pauses, interjecting shorter pauses while you're speaking to emphasize key points. Work with the dynamics of your pacing, adjusting both your speed and your rhythm to create energy. And then develop a natural speaking rhythm that comes as second nature to you through practice. Before long, it'll become second nature to slow down at certain points and to speed up and to know when to let your words land. This is session 8 of my magnetic speaking skill series, and I want you to come back next week. So make sure to click on subscribe, make a comment, and tell me what of this has been useful to you and what kind of information you still need, and watch the rest of the series. And if you're ready to apply these skills in real time, join me on the Share Well Now platform, where you'll get live in the moment feedback all the way through April. And don't miss next week's session. You can follow along, and once the video is up, it'll be right here. I'll see you next time.